Yeah, some of y'all gonna get this, and some of y'all won't. Diamond piece up out of there, heads over to Gianna's crib. Knocks on the door. Gianna answers, and a soft-spoken, visibly affected Diamond tells her that Leon left these at the gym, And in his hand was one comic book and one funky pair of Nikes. She start to crying and shit, He start to apologize. And in this tender moment of shared sadness, I guess they both forgot that her ass ain't live alone, Because all of a sudden, Leon blows sniffing, cop snitching ass Pops Jamal come to the door, And as always, it's a very pleasant interaction between these two men, As you would come to expect. Jamal tell Gianna to say her last goodbyes to Diamond's ass, Said Diamond ain't gonna be around much longer. Then he closed the door like Teddy P on Diamond ass, Close the door. Let me rub your back where you say it's sore. Let's bring this day to a pleasant end. Oh, it's gonna be some singing in this motherfucker tonight, Meanwhile, on the other side of town, and the law, DiFranco and Stacy Marks get a rap, Stacy talking about arresting Tommy off that forced Vic testimony, on that it's either yo ass or it's Tommy's ass, take your pick. Stacy Marks was on that Malcolm, She was trying to get Tommy off the streets by any means necessary. DiFranco wasn't feeling that at all. He like, I don't like this. Finds out Stacy Marks don't give a good goddamn if he like it or not. She like, either get down or lay down on this Tommy thing. He like, yeah, okay. Do it by the book or else. He like, don't make me sit on the witness stand for the defense now, Don't make me do it. Well, she go out, comes back later to the whole Fed team with a proper warrant, from a judge with permission to bug Tommy's crib, Little nod to DiFranco that maybe she does care, and that they're gonna do things the right way. Tell me if you still care about me. Do you still care? And the team get to strategizing, about how they gonna get this bug up in Tommy's spot, because Tommy got mad cameras watching his shit, This mofo Tommy had cameras on his neighbor's roofs watching over his shit, And all the cameras, well, they off the grid, so they not easily hackable. It's not going to be easy to get a bug up in his spot. Well, that's when DiFranco suggests that they get Vic to do it. They just be getting Vic to do all they dirty work. And why the hell wouldn't they, They ain't got shit to lose, except Vic. And if so, then they likely got Tommy's ass. So it's a win-win either way. And they pull Vic in. Tell him he need to place the bug in Tommy crib. He like, shit, you want me to wipe his ass next? And they pretty much tell him, mofo, if that's what it takes, Vic ain't feeling that at all, is actually a little shook. But at some point, place that bug up under a counter up in Tommy's spot. Vic does. Buys him some time, and some favor with the feds, 'cause now they up on Tommy. And they get to celebrating at some point, Stacy Marks and DiFranco, that is. One night they up in the office, listening in on some random Tommy and Mireya chat, at the same time, doing a little reminiscing on the good old days, over a little sippy sip. Had a little brown liquor in their cup, doing what grown folk do, my kind of party. Sliding that liquid demon down their throats, a little warm death. Then DiFranco slide on over to Stacy's desk, slide her some D. Got a little workplace bump and grind on, I don't see nothing wrong. I don't see nothing wrong with a little bump and grind, baby. I don't see nothing, I can't see. Y'all ever bust one out at work? Wrinkle up a little paperwork on the desk and shit,